all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning from my home to yours. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint, and I am Alex Matthew. Today is the 23rd of March. Here's everything that you need to know. Even as the Janta curfew was taking place yesterday, several states announced lockdowns in some form or the other in an attempt to curb the spread of the novel coronavirus. The number of cases spiked sharply over the weekend and now stands just shy of 400, with 7 people having lost their lives. In Maharashtra, which has the highest number of infected at 74 as of Sunday morning, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray announced that Section 144 would be imposed from this morning till the 31st of March. That essentially curbs the gathering of numerous people. He also said that the number of government employees working in offices would be cut to a mere 5% from the existing 25%. The central government, meanwhile, has suspended passenger train services across the country until the 31st of March. At present, as many as 75 districts where coronavirus cases have been reported have been locked down. In updates from across the world, US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said a big difference separates Democrats from Republicans on a massive US aid package, casting doubt on a quick deal. The White House hopes for a vote today on the over $2 trillion plan. Boris Johnson has warned his government in the UK will impose tougher measures if people continue to ignore calls to stop social gatherings and non-essential travel. The International Olympic Committee will study a possible postponement of the Summer Games in Tokyo, which are set to begin on the 24th of July. And German Chancellor Angela Merkel is in quarantine at home after coming into contact with an infected doctor, according to her spokesperson. There's lots more, and you'll find all of it on the website bloombergquint.com. Now, switching to news from back home. In the auto space, Maruti Suzuki has decided to suspend production at its manufacturing facilities in Haryana with immediate effect until further notice. Hero MotoCorp has said it has suspended production at all of its sites across the globe until the 31st of March in order to safeguard its employees. And Mahindra & Mahindra has suspended production at its facilities in Maharashtra. India will set up a nearly 10,000 crore rupee fund to encourage companies to manufacture pharmaceutical ingredients domestically after supply chain disruptions due to the coronavirus pandemic exposed the country's dependence on China and raised concerns of drug shortages. In other news, Economic Affairs Secretary Atanu Chakraborty has said that India's stock exchanges will remain open despite the lockdown in Mumbai. There is no plan to curtail trading hours as of now, he said, contradicting a report by a business news channel that this was on the cards. And speaking of the stock markets, market regulator SEBI has lowered the limit of positions that can be taken in the futures and options market, increased margin requirements, and capped derivatives exposure as it looks to counter volatility and short selling triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic. You'll find details of that in the story on the website bloombergquint.com. As things stand though, indices futures are pointing to a sharp fall in Indian equities, likely on the back of the negative updates on the spread of the virus. In international markets, US stock futures are indicating declines of close to 5% currently, this after they closed sharply lower on Friday. Stocks in the Asia-Pacific region have opened lower. Japan was trading lower by 0.4%, but the other two early rises were trading with sharp cuts. And with that, it's over to Agam Vakil for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Agam. How are we looking today?
Good morning, Alex, and good morning, listeners. Well, there's no better way to say this. It's going to be a tough morning for us. The S&P 500 dropped 5% and hit a limit down after the index lost more than 4% on Friday. The US equity future stumbled at the start of trading today after a surge in global debt toll from the coronavirus and a failure as yet by Congress to agree to an aid plan. The SGX Nifty is indicating a decline of 10%. That's nearly 900 points. Now, to give you a little more details on the SEBI's new measures that Alex mentioned, which was to check short selling and curb volatility, and they will of course come into effect from today, the market regulator has lowered the limit of positions that can be taken in the futures and options markets, increased margins requirements, and capped derivatives exposures as it looks to counter volatility and short selling triggers. However, one must remember that one can trade up to 500 crores of positions freely. About that, one needs to either have stocks worth notional value of the contract to short or cash to go long. Now, with SEBI's new measures in place, we have a handful of companies which are made it to the futures and options ban. This will include Yes Bank, Adani Enterprises, Indiabulls Housing Finance, Vodafone Idea, Jindal Steel and Power, Just Dial, NCC, Punjab National Bank, and PVR. Now, we must remember that while traders can take intraday positions in these companies, one cannot take new positions and carry them on unless and until we have a reduction in the open interest. Now, moving on to other stocks which are in the news, we have Ipca as well as Zydus Cadila, which get big US orders for Chloronique to fight COVID-19, and the anti-malaria drug is one of those being tested as a cure for coronavirus, and US FDA has placed the order after President Trump's endorsement of it. Ashok Leyland is also in the news as it scales back Hinduja Leyland Finance stake purchase plan. The company's board of directors, at a meeting held on March 21st, said they would acquire only nearly 7% stake in Hinduja Leyland Finance for nearly 390 crores, as against an earlier decided 19% previously for about 1,200 crores after considering feedback from minority stakeholders. India's leading automobile manufacturers, Maruti Suzuki, M&M, Hero MotoCorp, and even Jaguar Land Rover have announced that they would suspend production at their manufacturing facilities to ensure employee safety and help contain the spread of the coronavirus. And finally, we have Future Retail, which says that most of the stores in most of its states are closed except selling only essential commodities and grocery items, and the said stores will operate till the time permitted by respective local and regulatory authorities. Now, these are just some of the stocks that we can watch out for as we move into trade today, but don't forget to go through our morning edition of All You Need to Know only on BloombergQuint.com.
Thanks, Agam. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day and stay safe.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.